I'd like to show you how to make some rice cereal treats. When you're making large models like this one, it's an idea to have the centre a little bit lighter and not try to make the whole thing out of sugar paste. So when you get to this sort of size models, then a rice cereal treat centre is quite practical. Now I make this little guy on my workshops, and in the workshops it's very difficult to actually make the rice cereal treats ready in time to actually work on to do the dragon. So anybody who's going on to the workshops, this video is really to direct them towards seeing the actual rice cereal treats being done. Even though we do discuss it in the workshops, it is nice to actually see it being done. So that's what I'm going to show you today. So for that particular dragon model, we need 100 grams of rice cereal treats. So I'm going to put 50 grams of marshmallows, pink, white, doesn't really matter what colour, 50 grams of marshmallows into a bowl, not into a metal bowl, into a plastic bowl, because this is going to go into the microwave. So into a bowl, and then added to that will be 10 grams of butter. So pop that in there, and then I'm going to pop it in the microwave. 30-second blast on high. Give it a good stir, and that should all be melted. I'll go and do that now. So while the marshmallow and the butter is in the microwave melting, I'm just going to get my wine glass ready for shaping the rice cereal treats for when they're ready. So I'm taking some butter. So I've just had the butter, we've just put some into our recipe. And just grabbing some more butter, I'm going to grease the wine glass. I want the rice cereals to have a nice smooth edge to them, and I want them to be in a teardrop shape. So I need to grease the inside of this wine glass. The mixture, when it's ready, is extremely sticky, so anything that it touches it's going to stick to, so you need to grease as much as you can. So grease inside of the wine glass, and when you're ready you need to grease your hands, but we'll not do that until we've got the rice cereal treats made. So pop that to one side, and now your marshmallow mixture should be melted. So the marshmallow mixture is now melted. I'm going to grab myself a spoon. I'm going to put a little bit of grease on this spoon. It'll still stick to it, but to protect it for a little while. So a little bit of grease on the spoon, and I've now got 40 grams of rice cereals. So these are just your regular cereals, what you could have in the morning for your breakfast. Okay, so I'm going to pop those in. So with the 10 grams of butter, the 50 grams of marshmallow, and the 40 grams of cereals, we've now got 100 grams, which is what we need for the dragon. So make sure you give it a good stir. Now this is quite warm at the moment, and as you might be able to see, it's quite sticky. You can get, as it starts to cool, you'll be able to see the stickiness even more. You see all the strings of sticky there, so it's very sticky, this. So that's going to cool down for a second. If you just try and shape it at the moment while it's too warm, it will just keep falling apart on you. So I don't really want to touch that yet with my hands, because I haven't greased my hands. So get some of that butter again, rub your hands with it, and whatever you're going to place the rice cereal treats on to cool down when you've got the shape, then add a bit of butter to that. So I'm just going to put some on this bit of perspex I've got. So I just rub some butter on that as well. Get it all covered, because I say this stuff will stick to everything. There we go. So we've got some grease on there as well. So I'm just going to wait for that to cool down a little bit more. You imagine, you can see that sticking to my hands a little bit now, and they're greased, so you imagine what it would be like if they weren't. Okay, so it's been cooling for just a couple of minutes now, so you can feel it. You can still feel a little bit of heat coming off it. So you could wait a little bit longer, but I'm going to crack on. So again, still working in grams. Place my glass onto the scales and just zero them up. And like I said, there's going to be roughly about 100 grams of rice cereal treats in this bowl. So I'm just going to take out what I think might be about half, pop it onto the scales. So there is 46. Oops, pop a bit more in. A little bit more. Making it up to 50. There we go, that's 50 in there now. So you can see it's just in there. I find it easier to just use my hands, grease my hands and put it straight into where I need to, rather than faffing around with a spoon. So just put the other rice cereal treats to one side again. And like I said, my hands are greased. The glass is greased. We need to compact that now. So just using my knuckles just to hold it into place. I'm pushing the rice cereal treats down into the base of that glass. Can you see I'm really compacting it? That will give it a nice sort of smooth edge to it. Now you get different sort of shaped wine glasses. If you can find one as pointy as possible, there's hardly any work to do when you want to get a teardrop. So that's in there now. Take your thing you're going to let it cool down on. Give it a knock. It should come out. There we go. So pop your glass to one side. Can you see how nice and smooth edges that has got now? You could either leave it like that, but I want it a little bit more. That's more of a cone at the moment. I just want a little bit more of an arch going on. And again, because my hands are grease, it's not sticking to me. You can just gently squeeze it. Not too much, you don't want to crush all the little rice cereal treats, because everything's moving at the moment because it's still quite warm, but you're still keeping that nice sort of smooth edge. You're just jiggling it around a little bit into a nice sort of teardrop. Okay, pop it down, and if you do these while they are still warm, just keep an eye on it for the next few minutes, because sometimes they do sink a little bit if they're still a bit too hot. Just keep an eye on it, and if it starts to do that, just pick it up and get another squeeze. Just put that to one side. So this is 50 grams in there. Again, push it in. If you have your knuckles into the centre, you stopped it from sliding up while you're pushing on one side, sliding up the other side. Get it nice and even. Knock it out. Obviously it's a glass, so don't go, really whacking it on the side. Don't want the glass to break. But because it's greased, it should just gently slide out. And just get rid of that edge. Okay. A little squeeze. Make sure it doesn't fall apart. Okay. And they need to cool down. Now you can put them in the fridge to cool them down quicker. It helps them firm up a little bit quicker. I tend to just sort of leave them on the side, covered with a little bit of cling film, and sort of 6 hours later they'll be fine to work. They'd probably be fine to work a few hours later, but I like to make sure that they're really, really as firm as possible.